Well, this isn't news that you're going to be able to read quite yet on the Royal Mint website, but you can read it on the Treasurer's website. The Royal Mint has just posted a £36 million loss. And for the first time ever, the UK needed no new coins. Let's talk about what that is really about. So let's unpack what the report actually says. We've got a falling revenue to £1.31 billion. We've got a dramatic fall in collectibles revenue from £25.6 million down to £8.7 million. We've got the Royal Mint Bullion Department making a profit of £15.7 million. And we've got a process of staff cuts and business restructuring. Let's take a look a little bit at what's behind that. Well, one of the key things is that physical cash use has collapsed, and that's something not unique to the Royal Mint and not unique to the UK. But what it means is that the core business that the Royal Mint was invented for has evaporated. The Royal Mint have been producing coinage for countries outside of the United Kingdom for up to 700 years, and this year the production of those kind of coins has finally ended, leaving a great big chunk of missing revenue in the Royal Mint's accounts. We're going to come back to commemorative coins in a little bit more detail later in this video because it is a pretty big subject in its own right. All businesses need to restructure and change from time to time, but I think in many ways the Royal Mint and the BBC have a lot in common. They are both businesses that are owned by us, the taxpayer, and they were both formed in a different time for a different purpose and are now having to reinvent themselves in order to survive. So what are the Royal Mint doing? Well, they are still making quite a good money out of bullion and refining. There's a lot of interest in bullion and bars and gold. You're seeing those kind of activities go up. You're seeing a development of high-end jewellery, particularly gold jewellery for the 886 range, where the Royal Mint are attempting to be a kind of another Cartier. Only time will tell whether this is successful for them. And they're also going for sustainability efforts with their e-waste recovery processes. I ran my first auction live stream on the Whatnot platform last Sunday and it went really well. I am going live again on October the 16th at 8 p.m. and if you want to join me, you would be most welcome. If you want to try the platform out, there's a QR code on the screen. Click on that and you will get £10 credit from your first purchase. So it's definitely worthwhile seeing what the platform can offer, have a go and buy something just to test out whether or not you like using Whatnot. Before we drill down into the risks of their overall strategy going forward and what might happen, what they'll do, what they may not do, let's have a chat about the commemorative coin market, which is something I'm very keen on. Everybody was trapped at home and had money to spend and nowhere to spend it, and that happened all over the world. As a result of that, a lot of the non-monetary asset categories like commemorative coins, like art, like watches, suffered a very, very big and unsustainable bubble. So that's not news. It turned into the COVID coin gold rush. For example, the 2019 Ura and the Lion gold coin marketed 2 ounces of gold at 3,995 in pounds, ended up towards the end of COVID being traded at auctions in Japan for up to £80,000. So the market was driven by boredom, it was driven by greed. And what did the Royal Mint do as a result of this? Well, they wanted a piece of the action, and in order to get that piece of the action and capture some of that profitability, they doubled mintages for many coins, they increased their premiums, raised prices, and at that time everybody was playing ball. Everybody continued buying from the Royal Mint. They decided, rather than hanging back and building the collector market, they would increase mintages again beyond any market that really existed, and they would increase premiums yet again and milk that market for all it was worth. What happened is that they kind of destroyed the golden goose. There was a glut in the market, quite a big glut in the market. Everybody who needed items was able to buy them. A lot of those coins had gone through distribution, and the distributors had very large commitments to the Royal Mint, and they basically fire-sailed all of those gold sovereigns that had been previously highly demanded and precious. They say that every time there's a bubble, you find a burst bubble, and in 2023, 2024, the Royal Mint's commemorative market bubble burst big time. And I'll tell you in a minute exactly what appears to be the case now and what they're doing about it in order to get some confidence back into the market. My assessment at the moment for them is that they are in a risky no man's land at the moment, with danger on all sides. They're struck between all these different worlds: the reduction in demand for circulation coins, the hammering of demand for commemorative coins, and this image that they have, which is half split between coins and jewellery, where the market takes quite a lot of time to actually recognise one of these new brands, and they're still a brand which is allied and tied to coins over hundreds of years. So very high legacy costs, probably too many staff, and the new business opportunities that they've identified are taking too long to really emerge, and the business achieved from them is too small. So is it a case of rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic at this stage? Is the ship going down, or is there a way to successfully refloat the business so that it becomes relevant and positive? There are clearly some underlying facts which they need to deal with. Coins, particularly circulation coins, are dying. I recently went on a trip to the USA, and I don't think I saw $1 or $1/4 or one coin for a 3-week period. Coins are dying everywhere because digital currencies have taken over. Collectors, who are and have been the mainstay of the Royal Mint business and profitability over a number of years, for the moment they're a dying breed and they're gone. They entered the market, and the Royal Mint did not protect their interests in any way. And as a result of that, there is very much, as far as I can see, in the collector market, which I'm very close to, a once bitten, twice shy mentality. And the numbers of people buying brand new collector's edition coins have gone down considerably, unless there is a really, really good reason to buy, or almost a certainty of not losing money. I think collectors are fed up with buying things at a very high premium, and where they are almost certain to lose money on what they buy, and that maybe is the subject for another video. I hope that they manage to turn this around. I believe they can still turn it around if they are bold. I love the Royal Mint. I'm a big fan of the Royal Mint. I think they have got so much potential to create something that people want, but I don't see the signs of that every day in terms of what they are doing in terms of new issues. So what you've got is a great big traditional juggernaut of an institution that has been around thousands of years, and there's a big question mark as to what happens going forward, and it requires very, very strong leadership and very strong management to be able to set a new path and make that as successful. Now, is it going to be another Kodak that didn't recognize the change in the digital photography field? Are they going to be successful at rebranding? A great example of a British institution who has been successfully able to rebrand is Marks and Spencer. They were falling into oblivion a few years ago, and they are a brilliant example of a company that has managed to totally reinvent themselves to become successful once more. So what are the signs that they are going through this process of reinvention? Well, the gold jewellery range, whilst they aren't Cartier, the designs are absolutely beautiful. I recommend every one of you go and take a look at their gold jewellery website. They are producing some really, really good designs. Prices are a little bit high, but then all gold jewellery, 18 karat jewellery, is high. Take a look at that. I hope that's successful. Hope it's not too little too late. What they're doing in terms of recovering gold from waste is also good. Whether that is ever going to be a profitable activity, only time will tell. In relation to commemorative coins, what they're doing is they've recognised, I think now, that the market has temporarily disappeared, and they must build confidence. They must create releases which aren't novelty and not frivolous, but based on historical designs that the core collectors are going to want to collect and keep, but which have very low mintages, where there is a rarity factor, where they are not oversupplying the marketplace, where they're not oversupplying their distribution channel. They need to find something which is going to preserve the most important thing going forward, which is collector value. When a collector pays a massive premium for a Royal Mint coin, there is an expectation that the collector's value in that coin is preserved, and the Mint will do everything in their power to preserve it. The more they can achieve that, the more successful they will be going forward. I hope you enjoyed that, and I plan to produce similar videos occasionally when there is something to report going forward. Hope you like my channel. If you do, please do click on the subscribe button. Every one of those subscribers is important to me. I'm almost at 25,000. I would love to be able to hit 25,000 subscribers in the next couple of months. Please do remember to click on the bell and get notified when there is a new Numistacker video.